Hello and welcome to this video series on advanced indices, where today we're going to look at negative and zero indices. Let's jump right in. So we can be asked to evaluate questions such as these. So we've got 3 to the minus 1, 4 to the minus 3, 7 to the minus 2. And we've also got numbers to the power of 0 over here, okay? Now these questions look quite intimidating, but actually when we get into it, they're not that hard, okay? So let's start off with the negative indices, okay? So if I've got 3 to the power of minus 1, so the minus in the indices, all that's telling me to do is to flip the fraction, okay? So in this case, if I've got 3 here, I can imagine this number as being 3 over 1, okay? Because 3 over 1, that means I've got 3 wholes, okay? So to evaluate the negative part of this indices, all I'm going to do is flip this fraction. So instead of being 3 over 1, it's going to become 1 over 3. Now, the 3 is still going to be to the power of 1, but all that tells me is that I'm going to do 3 times itself once. So that just leaves me with 1 over 3. That's my final answer, okay? For 4 to the power of minus 3, again, if we imagine 4 as being a fraction, 4 over 1, do the negative part of the indices, I'm going to flip the fraction. So I get 1 over 4. And then I apply the positive version of the power to the 4, okay? So let's just remind ourselves, how do we cube a number? Well, that's basically 1 over 4 times 4 times 4. And take your time with this, use your box method, use whatever techniques you've got available to you. Eventually, you'll get these cube numbers and square numbers fixed in your head. So I know 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So 4 to the power of minus 3 is 1 over 64. Last one then. What about 7 to the power of minus 2? Again, to evaluate the negative, we've got 1 over 7 squared. And then, remember, 7 squared, that's 7 times 7. I'm only timesing it by itself twice. And the final answer will be 1 over 49. Just like that, okay? Now, these numbers here, 3 to the power of 0, 7 to the power of 0, and 12 to the power of 0. While these may look intimidating, there's a nice easy rule to remember for these. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. Simple as, okay? Anything to the power of 0 is 1. So that means 3 to the power of 0 is 1. 7 to the power of 0 is 1. And also 12 to the power of 0 is also 1. Any number to the power of 0 is always 1. It's a very easy rule for you guys to remember, okay? But this lesson, you can probably tell, we're going to be focusing on the negative indices, okay? It's going to be hard to teach you guys on 0. So let's jump in with some questions, okay? So pause the video and have a go at answering this first task, okay? Best of luck. Okay, here's the answers. Well done if you got those. Now let's have a look at a slightly harder example now. So we want to evaluate these fractions with negative indices, okay? Now, if you remember the rule for negative indices, this part shouldn't be much harder, okay? So to evaluate a half to the power of minus 1, to do the negative part of the indices, I need to flip the fraction. So that's going to flip to 2 over 1. And I'm still going to apply that power of 1 to the 2. And that just means 2 times itself, or 2 times itself once. So that is 2 over 1, which is 2. Because 2 over 1 means 2 wholes, got the number 2. Nice and easy. For this one here, we've got 1/3 to the power of minus 2, okay? Once again, to evaluate the minus, we end up with 3 over 1, but we need to square the 3. Remember when we square, that's the same as 3 times 3, still over 1, which will be 9 over 1. But then 9 over 1 is the same as 9 wholes. The answer is just 9. Simple as. And then for 2/3 to the power of minus 3. Now this is going to be a little bit different, okay? Because you might have noticed in these questions, we've not applied the power to the 1 in the fractions above in this example and the last example, okay? But actually, we're applying the power, once we flip the fraction, we actually apply the power to both numbers of the fraction, okay? It's just when it was 1 times itself however many times is still 1. So I've not really mentioned it, okay? But let's go through this one. So 2 to the power of minus 3, okay? 2 over 3 to the power of minus 3. So first of all, flip the fraction. So that's 3 over 2. I'm going to apply the power of 3 to the top and the bottom numbers, okay? So you always do this. It's just when one of the numbers is 1, it doesn't change. So we've not really talked about it. So what does this mean? Well, 3 cubed is 3 times 3 times 3. 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2. So 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 2 times 2 times 2. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So the answer to this one is 27 over 8. I'm going to leave it as an improper fraction, okay, as you will do for the rest of this lesson, okay? So let's have a look at another main task now, okay? So pause the video and have a go at evaluating these fractions with negative indices, okay? And just leave your answer as a improper fraction if needed, okay? So pause the video and have a go. Best of luck. Okay, here's the answers. Very well done if you got those right. It's a little bonus task for little challenge questions. Here's some sums with negative indices, okay? So pause the video and have a go at these challenge questions, okay? So take your time, see if you can have a go with these, okay? So pause the video, have a go. Best of luck. And here's the answers for those. Very well done if you got those right. Very tricky questions. Finally, on the checking question now, okay? So pause the video, have a go at that sum on the left, and then as a final question, see if you can remember from the first example, what will 99 to the power of 0 be? So pause the video and have a go at these. Best of luck. Okay, so for this question on the left here, okay, so 4 to the minus 2. So first of all, to evaluate the negative power, I need to flip the fraction. So I'm going to have 1 over 4 squared. I'm going to add that 2, so it's a half to the power of minus 3. So flip the fraction, 2 over 1, and 2 is going to be to the power of 3, okay? If I write this down here again, that's going to be 1 over 16 plus 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8, and it's over 1, so it's going to be a whole number. So I've got 1 over 16 plus 8, okay? So as a mixed number, I'm happy, you can leave this as 8 as 1 over 16, or if you want to change this to an improper fraction, all we need to do is just turn this. So 8 times 16, so 8 times 10 is 80, 8 times 6 is 48, so 80 plus 48 is 128, plus that, so 129 over 16, okay? So very well done if you got that one. And then the last one, anything to the power of 0, remember, is always 1. Okay? Thank you for watching, guys, and we'll see you next lesson. Bye now.